Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio. We are not going to waste much time. We know you guys are waiting on the Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Bud Crawford fight. So, and I'm looking forward to that fight as well. So we're just going to dive right on in. We're not wasting any time. We're jumping into it, and we're going to start it off per the usual with TNA wrestling, and then we will go from there. So, TNA wrestling was down on Thursday night. We started off with a singles matchup as it was Moose going one-on-one with AJ Francis, and it was Moose winning the bout. Let me just hang on one second. Impact, yep. Impact results, and I believe the time of the fall was 9 minutes and hold on. It was 9 minutes and 26 seconds. Moose beating AJ Francis. I alluded to it. I'm going to just reiterate it again. 3-star bout. I thought it was a solid opener. It was good for what it was worth. And actually, for once, yes, it was a little bit of an overbooked finish, but AJ Francis was the victim this time around. He tried to play cutesy, try to use a little bit of the interference game, but it blows up in his face. Good to see when sometimes the heel try to outsmart the baby face and it blows up in their faces. That was a fine way to end the match. Solid opener. Really nothing more to say. And Anthony, it is yours.
Yeah, solid 3 stars. It was about having two big guys beat each other up, with Francis rapidly turning into a decent power guy. He's figured out a lot in recent months, and that's nice to see. Moose is on his way to something with Mustafa Ali or Order 4 as a whole, and that's an intriguing prospect. Victory Road on the 26th. It'll be Moose versus Mustafa Ali. Should be an interesting matchup, so not much more to say. MF, let's move on.
All right,
3
and we
stars.
do it. Okay, very well. Joe Hendry battling Travis Williams. Joe Hendry winning the match in 3 minutes and 17 seconds. Unfortunately, I think we both can agree this is probably a throwaway fight. Really not much to talk about on that one.
It was supposed to be Eric Young, but he weaseled his way out.
But he backed out of the fight. Then we had Myron Reed and Trey Miguel. Oh, this was a 4-way. I'm sorry. Jake Something, Zachary Wentz, Myron Reed, and Trey Miguel. Fatal 4-way, and Myron Reed wins it all in 8 minutes and 8 seconds. Wow, Anthony, you could probably consider this a little bit of an upset because of the talent involved in this match.
Most definitely. I mean, when you look at, Myron Reed is the least experienced of this group, but good for him. I mean, he's come into his own. I mean, we saw all these guys a couple months ago when we went to the Impact taping there, and you remember Myron Reed and the Rascals. They had that insane match with Cedric Alexander along with Leon Slater and the Hardys that stole the damn show, as we all know. And I've been very high on his body of work, and it's good for him. I mean, I've always been a fan of lesser known talent, getting big moments here. This is easily the biggest win of Myron Reed's TNA career to this point. And could it lead to a bigger win at Victory Road when he challenges Leon Slater for that X Division championship? Maybe, but in all honesty, I don't think so. I think Slater's going to hold on to that thing a little bit longer. So, but it's going to be a banger of a match, though. I can already sense it. So, because the body work of those two young men, that's got potential show stealer written all over it on the 26th. So this is about 2.5 to 3. So not much more to say. Yes, MF, I do consider it an upset when you consider the talent of especially Miguel and Wentz. Something, just isn't really, he's a middle of the road talent. So he's a mid-card talent at best. So, but good for Myron Reed. He deserves the opportunity, and I cannot wait to see him and Slater tear the house down in Edmonton at Victory Road on the TNA Plus app. So 2.5 to 3,
Absolutely.
biggest win for Reed, MF, and who knows? Could it lead to a bigger win? Possibly, but I don't think so just yet.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it was a 2.5 to 3. I thought they did a fine job with it. I really got nothing bad to say about it, so we're just going to move right on along. We had a 2-for-1 deal, 2 matches for the price of 1, and Anthony, this is kind of a little bit of a special right up our alley because Elegance Brand and the Inspiration, 2 separate matches. Heather by Elegance versus your favorite, Jessie McKay, and it was Heather winning the match in 3 minutes and 11 seconds, and then Director of Authority Santino Marella is like, you know what? Okay, hold on. Let's do the other side. So Cassie Lee goes one-on-one with M by Elegance, but Cassie Lee wins the match in 5 minutes and 7 seconds. So split decision. Elegance Brand gets 1. Inspiration gets 1. There has to be a rubber fight to settle that one. And maybe it will be a tag team for the women's tag titles. We don't know down the line. And it looks like that might be where we're going towards Victory Road. Oh, by the way, no DQ when it goes by that when it comes to that match. And special guest referee is Indy Hartwell. So, I mean, fine for what it was worth. I liked it as a whole segment. I think it was fine because, you know, you get the 2 matches. So both women get, you know, like I said, Elegance Brand gets a win. Inspiration gets a win. So they split it 1-1. And now we're going to get the rubber fight at Victory Road. And whoo, lordy, man, stakes are high. And it got even higher thanks to Santino. So what's up, Florio? Go ahead. It's yours.
Well, the first match obviously was the worst of the 2. The best I could do on that one would be 1 to 1.5. Before I get into it, I do have to make a correction here. Heather and M by Elegance will be defending the Knockouts tag titles against the Inspiration, but Indy Hartwell is not going to be the referee for that match. He's going to be the referee for the other match, the other big knockout match on that card. I think you know where I'm going with that one. So, but anyways, as far as this match is concerned, the first match, there was only so much you can do with that kind of time, but at least they did a smart finish by having the Elegance Brand cheat. That's where everything tends to go with them, so everything made sense. I mean, MF, as much as we love the Inspiration, I got to be honest, they're not exactly inspiring lately, but it's not like they have much else to do around there. And as far as the other match goes, it was slightly better. It was about maybe 2.25, 2.5 at best. Partially because they had a little bit more time to put it together, and I'm not wild on having the 2 teams split like that, but at least the ending could set the Inspiration up for something. It's a basic way of going, though if you want the Inspiration to look strong, just have them sweep the night. You could have had them win both matches, but, you know, it is what it is. So, 2.25, 2.5, and at Victory Road, the titles are on the line. Inspiration, challenging the Elegance Brand. So, and Indy Hartwell, this is not where Indy's refereeing. She's refereeing the other big one. So, not much more to say. Let's move on. MF.
Yeah. So let's set up the table for next week's show. It's gonna be Mustafa Ali. He's going 1-on-1 with Brian Myers. Danny Luna is gonna go 1-on-1 with Indy Hartwell, and then we have a 6-woman tag as it's gonna be Masha Slamovich and the Inspiration, and they are going up against all 3 members of the Elegance Brand, Heather, M, and the current TNA Knockouts World Champion, Ash by Elegance. And then Frankie Kazarian with the King's Speech talk show. That'll be next week as well. Main event of this show, Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards of the System going up against the Nemeth brothers. And it was Ryan and Nick Nemeth winning it in 12 minutes and 48 seconds. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
By default, the fight of the night, 3.25, 3.5. If you want the Nemeths to be built up for their title match, this is the kind of win they needed to get. It was not exactly a classic, but the Nemeths got to capitalize on Order 4's interference, which would give us more between Order 4 and the System. Nice job of setting up 2 stories at once here. And it was announced after that the Nemets are going to be invoking their rematch clause, and they will be challenging the Hardys for the TNA Tag Team Championship, very likely at Victory Road. And that's all there is to that. So nice win for the Nemets. They needed it more, especially if you want to build them back up in the tag team ranks. So 3 1/4, 3 1/2 by default, the fight of the night, even though it was not an overly blowaway match. So not much more to say. MF, your thoughts?
Yeah, no, fair enough. I thought that they did a really good job. I thought it was a solid matchup to jump off the show, to close the show, I should say. 3.5 stars. That's my rating for it as well. Not much to say other than that. Overall, it was an okay show. I can only give this maybe a 6 out of 10. There wasn't really anything that really stood out for me. It kind of felt like a bleh type show. So, Anthony, quick thought, and then we'll get into SmackDown.
I'm going to be a little more generous. I'm going to give it 7. I mean, the show did a nice job of setting things up for Victory Road, though the action itself was only so good. Main event worked well enough, but the rest was a good deal of quick stuff to keep the show moving. Victory Road is coming together well enough, and that's what matters the most with the show in just a couple weeks. So 7 out of 10 for me. And let's go with a SmackDown from the legendary Norfolk Scope, where so much wrestling history has taken place in that building.
Yes, Norfolk Scope going at it, and here we go, guys. We had a promo segment to jump it off. We won't get into that very deeply, but this is the one we do need to get into. There was an open challenge. Sami Zayn putting the United States Heavyweight Championship open challenge, and Rey Fenix answers the call. Winner of the bout, 15 minutes and 47 seconds, and still the United States Heavyweight Champion, Sami Zayn. Oh my freaking Lord, what a jump off. You could maybe make an argument that this was the fight of the night right out of the gate. This was 3.5 stars. Unbelievable way to jump off the show. I really enjoyed it. I loved it. Every minute of it was incredible. Nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, 3.5 to 3 3/4. Sami Zayn still the United States Heavyweight Champion.
It doesn't feel like a stretch in the least to suggest that nothing else on this show was going to top this. 2 great in-ring competitors delivering a wrestling-centric match devoid of interference and run-ins, ending with one man being better than the other, even if it was only for one night. More of this, please. And more of Rey Fenix, who has been as poorly utilized as anyone since he arrived on the scene before WrestleMania. He is too good not to get the same looks that his older brother Penta does. I'm going to be a little more generous on this one. This was 4 to 4 1/4 stars. This was an excellent match. 2 great talents. When I saw that this was going to be the open challenge match, I was like, oh, I said to myself, yeah, this isn't going to be a banger. Said no one. And sure enough, it was a banger. So, and that's what made this open challenge so special. When Cena did it 10 years ago, these were the exact kind of matches we were getting week in and week in and week in. And here we are again, getting another banger out of this. So I'm so glad they brought back the U.S. Open Challenge, and Sammy picking up right where Cena left off 10 years ago when he did it. So 4 1/4, no doubt about it. So not much more to say. MF, let's move on.
Next up we had was the Women's Championship match. Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton, a rematch of SummerSlam. And unfortunately, the matchup ends in a double countout in 11 minutes and 23 seconds. By law and by rule, Tiffany Stratton is still the WWE Women's Champion, pending a rematch between these two on a later date. Because if you think about it, Jade Cargill does not, even though she gets the opportunity, she didn't win it. She didn't lose it. It's a draw. Therefore, a rematch is in order for Jade. She should get another shot down the line. But unfortunately, everything went wrong after, because Nia Jax showed up after the match was over. She didn't get involved during the match, after, and basically lay claim to her stake at the women's title by taking out both women, both Jade and Tiffany, both paying the price. Anthony, great matchup. Obviously disappointing with the outcome, but I think it's a legible. If there was ever an outcome to end it, this is a feasible one because it does open the door for them to run this one back.
Yes, it does. And I'll tell you what. First things first. This was far better than the SummerSlam match.
Oh yeah, absolutely agreed.
Far better. I was gonna give it 3.5, but I'm gonna bump it down to 3 to 3.25 because of the ending. Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill have surprisingly strong chemistry, and it was on display here. This was arguably an improvement on the SummerSlam match and was unfortunately hurt only by a questionable finish. It is an indictment on the Smackdown creative team that going back to Nia Jax is the only way the division can advance forward, through little fault of her own. Perhaps this would have been a more opportune spot for someone, say, like the Women's United States Champion, Julia. I mean, or other women in that division. But, you know, Michael Bullock and I, we had our SmackDown chat last night, an abbreviated one, and we talked about this for a little bit. I mean, why does it have to, especially after that last woman standing match? I mean, when there was that last woman standing match with Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax some time ago, we thought that was the end of. We thought that was going to keep Nia out of the title picture for some time, but no, they're right back to her. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. That's the only thing I can say. But other than that, great matchup. Far better than the SummerSlam match. 3 to 3.25 stars. Would have been 3.5 if not for the ridiculous interference, but you know, it is what it is. So my guess is a 3-way is coming. We're probably going to get Tiffany, Jade, and Nia in a triple threat, maybe at WrestlePalooza. I don't know. We'll see, but far better than the SummerSlam match, and that's all there is to it. So not much more to say. Imapct, your thoughts?
Yeah, no, you said it. This was a great matchup. 3 stars. Obviously disappointed that they pulled the rug out from under us, but the thing was, it wasn't like a big rug. It was that hey, they ended the match ends in a bad finish, but it does open the door for a rematch. It does open the door for them to run it back. Yes, the Nia Jax thing definitely left a bitter taste in the mouth, and it definitely annoyed me. I'm like, really? Her again? Why? But you know, it is what it is. So I really got nothing more to say. And yeah, Anthony, it is. We are going to get into the main event. Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton 1-on-1. Drew McIntyre, 17 minutes and 10 seconds. Holy hell, what a match. Great matchup. 2 guys knowing each other really well. And Drew backdooring his way. Basically, Orton was ready to punt his head off. He puts the referee in harm's way. So Orton had to stop himself midway where he was about to set up the finish, only to get claymored by Drew to get the win. Big win for Drew. Drew tried to take Randy out permanently until Cody Rhodes comes back, and now it does open the door. Now we're looking at possibly Cody versus Drew at WrestlePalooza. Yeah, it is now official. Cody versus Drew at WrestlePalooza for the WWE title. Confirmed. Official. So nothing more to say. 3.5 stars is my rating for it. Second best fight of the night because I thought the Sammy versus Phoenix was oh my god, that was amazing. So Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, another 4 to 4.25 star match. This one ran a little long, which messed with the timing late, but the tease of Randy Orton reverting to his old ways, Cody Rhodes' return, and the official challenge for WrestlePalooza made up for it. Before that, Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre had a predictably strong match, the likes of which they had on a seemingly endless basis during the pandemic. Randy Orton is clearly headed toward a heel turn and the inevitable showdown with Cody Rhodes. I think that match is WrestleMania worthy, and hopefully is held off for the biggest show of the year come WrestleMania 42. So there isn't much more to say on this. This is another 4 to 4.25. I probably would give it a solid 4, and I would probably give the U.S. match 4.25, teetering on 4.5. So definitely the second best fight of the night on this one, even though it got a smidgen more time than Ray and Sammy did. But solid 4 stars for me. They got the outcome right, with all due respect. I mean, after all, the dirt sheets were reporting that Drew and Cody was the direction they were planning to go. So great to see Cody back. It's been a busy month for him, becoming a second-time father, and of course, with him being cast in that Street Fighter movie as Guile. I mean, great to see him back, and I'm glad that he's back in time for WrestlePalooza. And WrestlePalooza looking like the biggest and greatest B pay-per-view of all time. So
absolutely,
we added another big one, another main event. So on top of everything else we've already gotten. So not much more to say. Solid 4. So overall thoughts? Well, it was a placeholder show at best. Cody's return and brawl with McIntyre set up the expected WrestlePalooza SmackDown main event. But the rest of the show, outside of the other 2 matches, were we're a big nothing burger and all that. Women's title match ended with no finish, and the reintroduction of Nia Jax to the title picture for what feels like the umpteenth time this year. The latest in the Julia and Michin rivalry amounted to nothing. That could not have been saved for a quick backstage vignette. Brock Lesnar's return to kick off the show meant nothing whatsoever to the show or his upcoming main event match with John Cena. If it was not for the main event and for the Sami Zayn Ray Phoenix match, this would have been a complete mess. The individual segments may have rated out higher, but as an overall show, it was a middle of the road kind of show. So, 2 great matches and a solid women's match, but the best I can do is maybe 7 and a half for me. So. Not without constructive criticism, though, obviously. So 7 to 7.5. MF, your thoughts, and then you can hit us up with the results from last night's Worlds Collide.
Yeah, no, 7 is the right rating. I thought they did a solid job. I wish it could have been better in certain areas. I'm not going to completely complain. I think you basically summed up everything that I was kind of felt like that it played out in that realm. So yeah, really nothing more to add. So here we go, guys. Worlds Collide from the Pavilion at the Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. At the Cox Pavilion at the Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. We started it off with an 8-person Lucha Libre showcase fight, as it was Octagon Jr., the Laredo Kid, La Parca, and Mr. Scarita Sangrata. They went up against Joaquin Wilde, Cruz del Toro, Lince Dorado, and Mini Abismo Negro. When it was all said and done, it was Master Secret, Sagrada, Laredo Kid, Octagon Jr., and La Parca winning the match in 18 minutes and 4 seconds. What a way to jump it off for Worlds Collide. This was, if you've ever seen Lucha Libre, you saw craziness, and that's exactly how the match went. Anthony, I know you're like, wait a minute. Why is he jumping in the ring? Why is he jumping in the ring? In Lucha Libre rules, you don't need to make any tags. If one guy falls outside the ring, another one can jump right into the ring and create chaos in the match. You never really have a true legal person in the fight, so you just kind of hope and pray that you can get through. But that was a way to start off the fight. And then we had Fabio Bacci versus Natty Neidhart, and it was to determine the number 1 contender for the Reina de Reinas championship, and Natalia winning the match in 9 minutes and 12 seconds. Look, solid matchup. This was a good fight that went all over the place. I think it could have been a different kind of match that we were thinking. And, Natty getting the shot. She'll get to fight Famar down the line for the Reina de Reinas championship. So, yeah, I think they done a really good job. And, give credit where credit is due to Fabi Apache, a legend in her own right. And she really worked a really great matchup. Nothing more to say on that one. And then the third one we had was Pagano and Psycho Clown putting the AAA tag team titles on the line against members of the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Grayson Waller. It was supposed to be Xavier Woods, but if you notice, Xavier suffered an injury, so he was medically unfit for this match. And when it was all said and done, winners of the bout in 16 minutes and 54 seconds, and still the AAA Tag Team Champions, Psycho Clown and Pagano. And then after the match was over, they were going to try to do an interview with the champions, and then the Wyatts showed up. This is a yes, a what moment for me, and I did it in Spanish, and when I heard the music of the Wyatts, I'm like, oh, ay Dios mío, oh no, is all I could say, because you already know when the Wyatts show up, destruction in the path. And that's what they did. They destroyed Pagano. They destroyed Psycho Clown. And there's some people out there that's going crazy because they're like, does that mean the Wyatts are about to invade Mexico? Oh my God. Are they going after the AAA World Tag Team titles? We'll see. But my God, what that's going to be like. So, yeah, really nothing more to say on that one. Next up, we had was the showcase fight. It was Finn Balor and Roxanne Perez representing the Judgment Day versus Mr. Iguana and Lola Vice. Winners of the bout in 12 minutes even was Lola Vice and Mr. Iguana. Okay, this was a showcase fight, but this was more comedy than anything else. This is one of those AAA matches. This is what you would expect from Mr. Iguana. And Finn Balor is the perfect person to work with Iguana, and their interactions was amazing. We saw the reemergence of Dimalito, and yes, I started freaking out when he appeared out of the ring.
Yeah,
I freaked out when I saw Dimalito. I was like, "Ay, Dios mío, ¿qué pasa aquí? Dimalito is here," and it was yeah. So it was one of those type of moments where I couldn't believe it. Iguana and Dimalito, actually Layaska and Dimalito had their rematch, and this time Layaska got over on Dimalito in this one, and overall, Lola winning the match was actually the right call because obviously Lola's got a mega fight coming up at No Mercy as she's trying to become the new NXT Women's Champion. She gets her title match against JC Jane at No Mercy, and I believe that's next week, Anthony? It's the title fight?
In 2 weeks. It's
in 2 weeks. Okay.
27th.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. That's right. WrestlePalooza is next week. The week after is No Mercy. So keep your eyes peeled on that. Momentum for Lola going into that championship fight, and that led us into a fatal 4-way for the AAA Latin American title. The reigning champion, El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., putting the title on the line against Dragon Lee, All Ego Ethan Page, and JD McDonough. Winner of the bout in 9 minutes and 56 seconds, and still the AAA Latin American champion was El Hijo de Dr. Wagner, and it was a crazy ending. Wagner with the Wagner driver on JD McDonough to get the 1-2-3, but the look on Ethan Page's face after the match was over, it looks like we may get Ethan versus Wagner down the line. Maybe you to put both belts on the line. the NXT North American Championship, the AAA Latin American title, Canada versus Mexico. You think USA and Canada, you think USA and Mexico has a bad blood rivalry. Canada and Mexico, it's got some bad blood between them two, too. So that might be a very interesting fight to see down the line if they want to go down that road. And then the main event of the evening, for the AAA Mega Campeón, it is Dominic Mysterio going up against El Hijo de Vecino, winner of the bout, in 18 minutes and 22 seconds, and new AAA Mega Campeonato de Físico Completo, Dirty Dominic Mysterio. He wins the championship thanks to a whole bunch of interference that went down. Obviously, Judgment Day came out to try to help. Obviously, LWO, Dragon Lee, and the LWO came out to neutralize. Actually, no, Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio came out to neutralize and get rid of the Judgment Day. But there was one other person that was also in the mix that was not accounted for, and that was El Grande Americano. That helps Dom win the title. History made. No, not an unprecedented crowning. I will not declare that. But we do have a new champion. And finally, in the eyes of many people, the reign of El Hijo de Vecino has come to an end. And for a lot of the fans in Mexico, it would definitely triggered a lot of celebrations. I know for us here, we're like, well, there was no honor, there was no tradition. The one problem is that in Mexico, this is very common. Overbook finishes has happened so many times in our history. In AAA, I've been following it so many times. We've seen these type of endings. So for me, there was really nothing more to add. So history made. What a way to close it. And yeah, so it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out now that Dom is the Mega Campeón, and we'll get to see that probably down the line as he's a double champion. So yeah, nothing more to say. We are done. We are out of here on Tuesday night. We do it all over again with Ridiculously Raw, hosted by Anthony Floyo. He's going to have Monday Night Raw. He's going to have NXT. Then on Thursday is College Football Thursday. We will be previewing some really good matches. Friday is NFL Friday. And then 1 week from tonight, we do it all over again with another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. And this time, we may wait because obviously I think WrestlePalooza, is on Saturday, Anthony? Is WrestlePalooza?
WrestlePalooza's next Saturday night at 7 p.m., the first ever event on that new ESPN app.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do this, folks. So sometime down the line, as a matter of fact, we might even do this on Tuesday with your permission, Anthony. We might even preview WrestlePalooza on your show. So we're just going to, so you're going to have the NXT, you're going to have the Monday Night Raw, and we'll preview WrestlePalooza because we don't have another show prior to that show on Saturday. And then on Saturday, we will recap the TNA, we'll recap Smackdown, and we will recap the WrestlePalooza. That'll be at 10:30.
Tuesday, let's also not forget, we'll also have a quick preview of our Buddy Bowl Thursday night with Miami and Buffalo.
Yes, we will. We will indeed do that. So that is it, y'all. We are done. So for Anthony Florio, I am Michael Fletcher saying so long, everybody, and we'll see you all on Tuesday night.
Goodbye.